All right, hello grade 8s. We are going to do 10.3 two-step linear equations. So 10.2 was also two-step linear equations, but this one is ones that involve division. So let's get into it here. So we're going to learn how to model them with models and how to solve them using opposite operations as we've been doing. So we still need to know what an equation is, a mathematical statement with two expressions that have the same value. We still are going to be isolating the variable, and we still are going to use our opposite operations. So if you need a refresher on those terms, go back to the previous lessons. So here we go. Write the equation modeled by the diagram and then solve. So we learned about our algebra tiles. We know that when they're red, they're going to be positive, and when they're white, they are negative. So let's write this equation that's being modeled here. So we can start off with our equal sign. So I like to put it above. So let's put it above here. So our equal sign is here. On the left-hand side of the equal sign, we have plus 3. So that's easy. We can write 3. On the right-hand side of the equal sign, we can see we have this fraction that is shaded in. And it's telling us right here that this half is negative b divided by 2. So that is what this is equal to. So it's split in half, which is why they're dividing by 2. So negative b would be the whole here. So we can write this. This is nice and easy because they already told us that it's negative b divided by 2. Very nice and easy. Okay, and then over here we have negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so minus 6. So there is our equation. So 3 equals negative b divided by 2 minus 6. Okay, so we can see that this is how this works. Now, if we want to solve this, we're going to need to do our opposite operations again. So let's solve this quickly here. So we're going to look at the side with the variable. So our variable is right here, right? B. And so on this side, we can see we're subtracting 6, right? We're always going to look for what we're starting with if we're adding or subtracting, and we're going to add 6 because in this case, it's a negative, right? Negative, so we have to do the opposite. So we're adding 6. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add 6 there, and we're going to add 6 on the other side. Now, these are going to cancel each other off. Now, over here, we have 3 plus 6, right here, 3 plus 6, which equals 9. So now we have 9 equals negative b divided by 2. Very nice. So now we need to do the opposite of our division because we can see on this side we are dividing, right, by 2. So the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So let's do this here. I'll switch back to black. So we're now going to times this side by 2 because it's the opposite of dividing. And we're going to multiply this side by 2. So 9 times 2 equals 18. This side is canceling each other off. So we have 18 equals negative b. So we're so close to finishing, but over here we have negative b. So I'm just going to do one more step to move the negative to the other side. So what I'm going to do is this is the same as negative b is also equal to negative 1b, right? We could also write that. So if we have 18 equals negative 1b, we can divide this by negative 1. And then divide this side by negative 1. And these are going to cancel each other off. And this is going to turn into negative 18 equals b. And that is our answer. So if the last bit there was a little bit confusing or we went too fast, just stick around for these next examples so you can get a grasp on this. So let's look at the next one here. Here we go. So let's write out this equation. So we're going to start with the equal sign. Okay, this side, there is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's nice and easy. I always like to start with the easy sides. So 4 there. On this side, we have a fraction over here, and they're telling us that this is negative z over 5. So that's what this is representing, this shaded in spot. So that's easy enough to write out here. So negative z divided by 5. Okay, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 7. So that's how we write out this equation, okay? So that's the most important part about these models is knowing how to transfer them into the equation and vice versa, how to go there and back. So this is how we do that. We've been doing lots of practice with that. So I want to show you guys now how to solve the equations. So let's look at this one. So the first step is we are going to look at what is being added or subtracted. So if we look on the side with the variable, our variable is over here, x, right? So in order to isolate our variable, we need to move these to the other side. So we see that we're adding 7. So our first step is going to be subtracting 7, and we'll subtract 7 from this side. Now that means these are going to cancel each other out, plus 7 minus 7. And over here we have 12, so we could, if we rewrote our equation, we would now have 12 minus 7. And 12 minus 7 is 5, so we would have x over 4 equals 5. Okay, now our next step is we need to do the opposite of this, which is multiplying by 4. And we're going to multiply by 4 on this side. So in this case, these are going to cancel each other out. And over here, now we have x equals 5 times 4, or x equals 20. There we go. Now, if we wanted to check our answer, what we could do is we could do the good old plug and chug. Okay, so let's plug our answer into the original equation and see if we get 12. So if we took 20 and we plugged it in here for x, let's try that out. So 20 divided by 4 plus 7 equals 12. Let's see if this is true. So 20 divided by 4 is 5, right? 5 plus 7 equals 12. 5 plus 7 we know is 12, so 12 equals 12. So we are happy. This is correct. Awesome. All right, let's look over here and do another one. So here we need to isolate our variable w. Okay, first step is we need to see what we're adding or subtracting. So in this case, it's the 9. Okay, so we're subtracting 9, so we need to do the opposite operation and add 9. So we add 9 here. We need to balance out the equation, so we add 9 to the other side. So the plus and minus now are going to cancel each other out. Okay, so now we're left with negative 2 plus 9 equals w over 8. Negative 2 plus 9, if we are in the whole negative 2, I always like to sketch out these number lines because these negatives can be confusing. So here's, let's sketch this out. Maybe down here at the bottom. Here is our number line. Okay. We are in the whole negative 2 already, and we are going to add 9. So plus 9. Okay, which means we're going to go 1, 2, then we're going to go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. To be right here, and we can see how many of these we have above 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this equals positive 7. So negative 2 plus 9 equals positive 7. So 7 equals w divided by 8. Okay, and now we need to figure out what w is. So we're going to do the opposite of dividing, and we're going to multiply by 8. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. And so now we have, these are going to cancel each other out, division and multiplication. And we have 7 times 8, which is 56, equals our answer of w. And so we can once again test that out by plugging and chugging. So let's plug in 56 in for w, and we will get 56 divided by 8 minus 9 equals negative 2. Okay, so 56 divided by 8 is 7. So negative 2 equals 7 minus 9. And 7 minus 9, of course, is the reverse of what we have down here in our number line. 7 minus 9, and we get negative 2. So our answer is correct. So now let's get into some word problems.